Hi, my name is Laura and today I will speak about why Katerina deserves sympathy. I have 5 main points of which my speech will be based around. Firstly, I'm going to talk about how the opinion of what's right and wrong affects the play. Secondly, how Petruchio attempts to tame Kate and how he treats her badly. My third point is about how Kate is disrespected as a woman and is embarrassed in front of her friends. Kate has also been taken away from her home against her own will, and finally I will be talking about how Bianca is preferred. Katerina is established as a shrew, a loud, unmanageable, and bad-tempered woman. This is caused by her behaviour and her actions throughout the beginning of the play. The Taming of the Shrew was written by Shakespeare 400 years ago. One of the 5 main points, Katerina deserves sympathy because of how the world has revolved and of the different perspective of an audience nowadays. When the play was written, women were seen as second-class citizens. Due to women's rights, this play is now considered disgusting to modern sensibilities. However, one of the main reasons why we sympathize for Katerina is because of the world's opinion of what is right and wrong has changed. For example, the play was considered hilarious, comedy gold from a Shakespearean's point of view, whereas nowadays it's frowned upon, taking the act of domestic violence. This was established when Katerina was referred to as an object and had certain possessions taken away from her. In Act 2, Scene 1, the marriage between Katerina and Petruchio had been finalized by her father, Signor Baptista. This part of the play is very important because this is the first scene where the shrew, Katerina, is changing as a character and is to be tamed. I would like to start off by exploring how Katerina is disrespected as a wife and as a woman. While Petruchio attempts to tame her, he does so through methods which are rough and She eat no meat today, nor shun shall she eat. Last night she slept not, nor tonight she shall. And if she chance to nod, I'll yell and brawl, and with the clamour keep her still awake. This quote demonstrates a sense of power in the relationship, as if Petruchio were in control of what she did and said. His aggression is highlighted whilst he is restricting her from eating and sleeping, which is basic human necessities. Being so constrained and limited, Katerina feels the need to take action in ways not so obvious. She begins to listen to Petruchio and to be less forceful towards him. Moreover, at the time, not all Elizabethan husbands needed to feel the power over their wives, as Katerina was the only known shrew in Padua. Now that I've finished speaking about how Petruchio tames his wife, I would like to make my second point. Katerina was embarrassed and disregarded as a woman. This was portrayed when Petruchio arrived late to their wedding. This scene shows Petruchio putting Katerina into practice, one of his many plans to try to change her from being a shrew. He exposed her to more unreasonable behavior than her own and tried to show her how it feels to be treated rudely. Firstly, he arrives at their wedding late and wearing outrageous clothes. Furthermore, during the wedding ceremony, he swears he strikes the priest and kisses her roughly, causing her to feel frustrated and embarrassed. Katerina is outraged at his behavior and calls him names, such as mad-brained Rudesby, full of spleen. Ironically, all of these names also describe her. This was one of the first events which then led on to be another cause of change within her character. I have now moved on to my third point. Katerina had been taken away from her home against her own will, leaving her with no allies. This was verified whilst leaving their wedding ceremony. Petruchio drew his broken sword, pointing it at the amazed guests, and forcibly taking Katerina off as they leave for his country home. This exaggerated behaviour created a masterful and comic scene. Father and wife and gentlemen, adieu. I will to Venice. Sunday come apace. We will have rings and things in fine array. And kiss me, Kate. We will be married o Sunday. Once arrived at Petruchio's house, Katerina was welcomed with a big feast. You needless joltheads and unmannered slaves, what do you grumble? I'll be with you straight. Petruchio purposely acted bad towards the slaves in order to investigate Katerina's reaction, so that he could deduce whether or not she had been successful. I am now going to talk about how Bianca is preferred and Katerina is disliked greatly throughout their hometown. Katerina, viewed as a shrew, and Bianca as the angelic younger sister of the two, is identified as the favorite. However, as the play continues, we begin to see the true sides of the two sisters and their roles. But love, fair looks, and true obedience, too little payment for so great a debt. Such a duty as the subject owes the prince, even such a woman oweth to her husband. The relationship between Caterina and Petruchio is referred to a relationship a prince would share with his subject. As the play carries on, Caterina has become tame and is courteous and polite to everyone. However, Bianca has become the very opposite. Bianca, stand aside, poor girl, she weep goes, ply thy needle, meddle not with her, for shame, thou hireling of a devilish spirit. This quote was said at the beginning of the play by Baptista. When Caterina and Bianca were fighting, the favoritism over one another is obvious. However, towards the end of the play, the roles switch, with Bianca becoming the shrew, and Kate has turned into the polite woman Bianca once was. Evidently, Bianca was most likely putting on an act in order to gain the attention of her suitors and father. Taking this into consideration, it explains a bit more of Caterina's interactions with her sister. Towards the end of the play, Bianca and Caterina's true characteristics show when she won't come to the call of Lucentio, and accusing him of simply hurting her, not at all caring for her either. In conclusion, Caterina deserves sympathy due to the lack of respect she receives from her family and Petruchio. I would like to remind you about my 5 main points. My first point was about the opinion of what's right and wrong and how it's changed over time. How Petruchio attempts to tame Kate. Caterina is disrespected as a woman and embarrassed in front of close friends and family, as well as being taken away from her home. And then the favoritism over Bianca.